Here we go. All right. We're back at it again. We're back on visual for the second time. Plus one. For those of you that are watching, the person on the bottom right, well, one of them is our guest. The other one is actually a member of our team, but she was not our first YouTube video. But Rob, what do you think? Should I hit him with it? Should I hit him with it? Should I hit him with the intro?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. I just woke up, so just give me a minute, okay?
Hey, me too.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the following is another amazing episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street, where she's not hosting Ringside Society. She's on crazy misadventures, such as looking for the fabled Cobra Kai Dojo, fighting people while dressed up as one of the members of the Road Warriors, and time traveling to 1885. Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about Mary Jane, money, or Popeye spinach. He is the Trackledart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And the last corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on the go, catch him if you can. Said his name in Guyana, now they love him in Japan. No cap, the worldwide starboy. And our guest for tonight is a man who we've actually interviewed last year. He is the DCW No Limits champion, and that's right, he has no limits. He will kick your ass here, Delaware, anywhere around the world. One half of one of the most intimidating tag teams on the Northeast today.
It's true.
Getting from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ethan Essex.
That's
How you
me
doing tonight, sir?
That's me. I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. This is a vast improvement. We got video now. I can see your beautiful faces.
Yeah, man, the budget went up, man. So yeah, I mean, you can afford video now.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for having me back. It's great to be back.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. You know, DCW, man, you guys have been amazing over the years. You guys are making a return. Am I correct? Not this coming.
I mean, let's get down to brass tactics. Let's get down to business. That's why I'm here. March 27th, Dynamite Championship Wrestling returns finally after a long hiatus. Come back March 27th at Marydale Fire Hall. Doors are 6. Believe bell time's at 7 p.m. It's going to be fantastic. I know I'm chomping at the bit to get out and perform. I don't know, other states have already reopened a little bit and stuff. Delaware has not, as far as live entertainment and stuff goes. So this is the first time that, I get to perform, but this is the first time in this area that people are actually going to get to have some live entertainment. So I'm really hoping that crowd is hot.
Yeah, I know. Rob Bass over here is actually. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my finger movements. Yeah, I still do this thing. But Rob Bass over here, he's very excited right now. You know, he's resident of Delaware, so he was excited. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get me a mic. I'm gonna get me this. Right. I'm gonna get me that." Yeah, he's chomping at the bit too to get back because he hasn't been to shows in I think it's a year now.
Yeah,
you haven't been to shows.
Yeah, it's been about that. Yep.
Yeah, he's chomping a bit right now as well to get back and witness a show in person. I mean, I've been to one since this pandemic started, and this was down in Tampa. It was for GCW.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great experience to actually get that. But yeah, Rob here, he can't wait either. Hopefully, Kathy over here. So you're actually talking to 3 people.
I see that.
3 different locations. I'm in North Carolina. Rob's in Delaware, of course, and Kathy's all the way out in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah. So Kathy's just
Kathy's your own resident Raging Cajun there.
Yep.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's the only one that's
exactly.
That's,
a show more warmer Raging Cajun shirt.
Yeah. So Rob, I know you had some questions, so go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. So what's going on, man? How's it been? What you been up to since last time we seen you?
Not much. I mean, not much of anything. It's been lockdown here in Delaware as is. Just living my life, training, just trying to be ready for March 27th for DCW. Like I said, knocking some ring rust off. Recently started training. Not recently. Been training. Stepped up the rigor of the training more recently. But yeah, other than that, man, I got horse blinders on. And just ready to focus on March 27th, and then we'll see what happens from there. As you're aware, March 27th is 1 year in the making match with myself and the Honorable RGP. He is DCW's champion. He is the DCW champion, and he's had a little bit of a run, but again, it's a year in the making. This is my first time. This is my first DCW championship title match. It's pretty big. It's pretty special to me. I came back into DCW in 2017. That year, won the tag titles 2 times. Following year, Limits champion. Here we are. It's been a year later. I really don't feel like I've been the champ for a year though, because I haven't had a chance to defend it.
Yeah.
But that's coming. That opportunity is coming. That is coming. But first and foremost, though, it is a DCW championship match and not a no limits match on 27th. So old Blue here isn't going to be on the line just yet.
That's right. So I was going to say, if you when you conquer RGP, are you going to defend both belts? Are both going to be online? Anytime, any place?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Double duty.
Absolutely. I'm not scared of hard work. Never have been. Never will be.
That's right. Yeah, like you were saying, this is a year in the making, man. Because I remember last year before the pandemic hit, it was supposed to be. I think you too. Yeah, it was supposed to be in a match about this time. And oh man, I've been waiting. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, so Ron and I have a little history. I mean, we haven't done anything in front of the DCW universe. Years ago, I used to wrestle for DCW. That's where I got my start. I mean, screw it. Let's just start there. So we're bouncing around. Let me bring the fans up to speed a little bit for those that might have missed past interviews or what have you. I got my start in 2004. I met Zach the Ripper Connor at WrestleMania 20 at Madison Square Garden. He took one look at me and was like, dude, you got a great look. Have you ever thought about being a wrestler? I said, oh my God, like that's my dream. I've always wanted to be a professional wrestler. He says, I don't know where you live, but I happen to be the head trainer at a wrestling school in Delaware. And I'm like, come on, dude. This is just too perfect, right? I live in Delaware. And Delaware is a very teeny tiny state. Oh, yeah. So out of, 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden, the odds that I'm like right next to Zach are seating is pretty incredible. Followed that up. And a week later, I started training with DCW. It was a little bit of a different company then. It was under different ownership. It was actually called Delaware Championship Wrestling at the time. And you had a completely different roster then. Now, occasionally some of that old roster does make appearances. Zach is one of those people. Chris Wilde, the Gemini Trojans back in the day, Kento Sai, Slacker Martin. These guys are all, DCW homegrown and have gone on to do things and just always put on a hell of a show. DCW's been around 18 years, man. That's crazy for indie wrestling. Now, don't get me wrong, it's definitely faced its trials and tribulations. It's undergone a few different owners over the years. But one thing that stood true is the DCW fans. They've been there all 18 years, which is incredible. I mean, there's fans that literally are coming from when I got my start in 2004 with them. I still see the same faces. So I mean, their fans' loyalty it's incredible. I've never seen anything like it on a level like that for independent wrestling. But anyway, I digress. Back to the history of DCW and my history there. So I started training with those guys that I had mentioned prior, and one of the ownership changes. The previous owner was our ring announcer as well. He left the company. Zach Connor took a look at me one day. I was very clean cut when I was a kid, very, very baby faced. And Zach took one look at me. He was like, "You got a suit?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You're our next ring announcer." And that's kind of how I got my foot in the door to get in front of the crowd. I was and that at that time, that was also when we went from Delaware Championship Wrestling to Dynamite Championship Wrestling. The previous owner had owned the name, so when he left, he took the name with him. I believe that's how that went down. So we had to switch it up. Still wanted to keep the DCW acronym because there's value in that. So they just changed it up to Dynamite Championship Wrestling. Started ring announcing for them for the first Dynamite Championship Wrestling show. I was the first voice of DCW way back when, and here we are now. So that's my little bit of my history of how I got into DCW and a little bit of DCW's history there. I think I went full blown off the tracks on what the original question was, but I will do that from time to time. I'm sorry, Remy.
That's all good.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, man. So I'm saying, man, the RG, the Polican firm, man, they got a lot of people in that group, man. So you got any backup plan, just in case they try some shenanigans or something like that?
Shenanigans?
Yeah.
I am the sultan of shenanigans. Come on,
right.
buddy.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Shenanigans are kind of my thing. I don't think you're gonna out shenanigan me, per se. He does have a stable. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever they have to throw at me. I got a couple of friends in the back too that could watch my back if need be. So yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that match. Yeah, because do you know how many matches are going to be there? It starts at 7:00, right?
I don't know how many matches are going to be on there. I have no idea. I have no idea what the card entails thus far, except for my match. I know it's myself and RGP for the DCW Championship match. I believe the Limit Breakers are defending their tag team championships against who? I have no idea, man. I wish I had that info for you, but I don't. I know Hobo Harry's going to be there. He's on a hot streak right now, and as wrestling's trash panda, Hobo Harry and I have been known to hang out around some dumpsters from time to time.
That's right.
So
ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, Hobo Harry might find some free food, I mean, leftover tacos and stuff. Man.
And he's a good dude, man. He's starving, but he will share that taco with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Oh, that's cool.
He's a good dude.
Oh man, that's awesome. I never knew that. Shoot.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look, yeah, I'm excited, man. I hope you win the belt, man.
I can tell.
Ethan 2 belts. I want to see Ethan 2 belts, man.
That has a ring to it.
Yep, Ethan 2 belts.
Or
what was the Spanish one? Dos belts. Ethan Dos belts. Whatever. Yeah, man. So I was talking to my little cousin, man. I was telling her about the interview coming up Sunday. I was like, yeah, this is who we're interviewing and all. And she wanted me to ask you, how do you get your hair to stand up like that? And how's it not move, man? Do you have a special thing? Do you have
I have a secret tip. I have a secret trick that I'm only going to let the fans here at Ringside Society in on. A real little secret. I squeeze my nose and I blow really, really hard.
Nice.
And the hair just goes straight up. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's crazy. It's an old trick I learned when I'm back in my Guadalajara and cockroach fighting days.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice, man. How did that go, man? The cockroach fighting? Oh, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Nah, man. But seriously, for the hair, the mohawk, it takes a little time. It takes a little prep, a little bit of hairspray, a whole lot of patience, and a blow dryer. I don't know if Mohawk's going to be coming back to DCW. I'm not sure yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with the hair. I people have asked me, oh, what color is it going to be when you come back, or this, that, and the others. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to do. You're going to have to come out March 27th and find out and see what kind of do I'm rocking.
That's right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. I still got to go out to Walmart. I got to get my signs made up and all that, man. Sign, man, that's a lost art, man. Nobody brings signs anymore. I got to do that, man. I got to bring signs back.
Do it, man.
That's right.
Follow your dreams, boo.
That's right. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, man. So when I was doing a little research, man, I did see you got to meet Scott Hall way back in the day, man. He imparted a little wisdom on you. Yeah, what was that like, man? What was the wisdom, a little advice he shared with you?
Oh, man, Scott's shared all kinds of advice with me. Yeah, back in the day, I got to actually train with Scott for a little bit. It wasn't like a crazy long time. It was about like, I want to say 9 months, almost a year. Scott and I got to train together. Yeah, he is just a walking library of knowledge.
Nice.
And he smartened me up so much to things in the business and just psychology in general, how to get in the ring and tell a story. You know, when I first got in this business, I just was trying to get over with flashy moves. And Scott was like, "You're right there, bro. You're right there. You just got to figure it out. You just got to put it all together." So just through our talks and in the ring and him, you know, being like, "Oh, you know, make sense of things." You know, he imparted some of his best advice actually came from Kurt Hennig, because he was like, you know, when he was tagging with Scott in the AWA, man, you know, Kurt kind of took him under his wing and smartened him up and taught him. So some of the things that Scott's telling me about making sense of every movement in the ring and things like that, these are all words of wisdom that were imparted to him by Kurt Hennig. So one thing that always stood in my head that Scott has said, and this goes back to shenanigans, is if you're not making any money in this business, you better be having fun. And if you're not having fun, why are you killing your body? We do hurts, man. It's physical in the ring, and everybody has what's called a bump card, and you only have so many bumps you can take, and that number is unbeknownst to you, man. You really don't know when your last bump's going to be. And he would always just say, like, if you're not having fun, why are you killing your body? And I just make it a point when I came back in 2017 to have fun. You know, that's what this is about. When you're having fun out there, the fans can feel that, man. There's an energy as a performer that you trade and you can feel with the crowd. And if you're out there having fun, man, like, the crowd picks up on that. Rob, you've seen me wrestle, man.
Oh, yeah.
I go out there and I wrestle, but like, I have a blast out there. It's like I'm having a party in the ring. And the fans pick up on that. They can really sense the genuine emotion of the match. And these are things that's like stuff that I learned from Scott, man. You know, is just really how like that energy transfer of and reading the crowd and being able to feel them and being yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, sorry, that's
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, man. Yeah, pretty much you got the Mr. Perfect, you know, lineage coming down to you, man. So you can trace your lineage to Mr. Perfect, I guess. The advice, you know.
I mean, you could, and I'm sure you could keep going up the ladder, whoever, you know. Yeah. But Scott, he's got just so many words of wisdom, and he's just an incredible mind for this business. I'm truly blessed to be able to spend the time that I did with him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, I do know you're a big fan of clowns and stuff, man. So I got to say, man, any good clown movies, good clown horror movies I should check out or anything? The only ones I know of, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Killjoy. Like that off the top of my head.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite. Yeah. I'm a huge Pennywise fan. I've been known to sport little Pennywise Easter eggs on my gear, or I do my Derry, Maine as my hometown when I come out as a little homage to Pennywise and the movie It. I'm a big fan of clowns. My favorite clown is Harpo Marx, actually, from
Ooh.
the old black and white era of television and film. The Marx Brothers are hugely influential in comedy. Pretty much the godfathers of modern comedy on film. Harpo didn't say a word in his whole entire illustrious career on film. I've actually borrowed from the Marx Brothers in some of my in-ring shenanigans and try to get that clowning going on as much as possible. One of my favorite clown movies was Big Money Hustlers by Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That movie's hilarious. That movie's really, really funny. I think they followed it up with Big Money Rustlers. That movie is okay. It was all right, but Big Money Hustlers was hilarious. Since we're on clowns and movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. I haven't seen that one, the ICP ones, man. I haven't seen them yet. I've heard of them, but I haven't checked them out yet, though.
Yo, definitely. They're highly entertaining.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check them out sometime. Now, before I pass it on over to Kathy and all that, I do got to ask, man, do you have any funny backstage road stories you can share with us? I mean, you can change the name, protect the innocent if you need to.
I've got a gang of stories. Gang. So I mean, it's really hard to like pinpoint one. Shoot, where do I go that I can not expose anybody or get in trouble? We like to hang out after the shows. Me and my old tag partner down in Florida, Brian Maddox. We had a tradition of going to strip clubs after any time. We won whatever company we were working for's tag team championships. That was kind of like
celebration.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're already riding a kind of high, like from performing, like when you come off stage, I don't care if you're a magician, stand-up comic, musician, professional wrestler, when you're done performing, man, you're on cloud nine. And so coming off of a title win on top of that, man, you walk into a strip club, you're on cloud nine. Those girls take notice. They're like, oh man, what's up with these guys' swagger?
That's right.
So I can't really go into too many more stories from that point on, but there were some fun ones. I remember Alpha down in WXW. He had Jimmy Hart in one time. He went to a little backstage thing. I just saw Jimmy Hart recently on TV, so this is fresh in my mind. Alpha had Jimmy Hart come in, and just him and I was coming back from my match. Brian and I just wrestled and walking back through their gorilla area back to the locker room, and Jimmy Hart's coming up the hallway like this. Remy, can I curse on here? Now, go
ahead,
man. I walk past Jimmy and I'm like, Jimmy, you're the fucking man. And he turns around, he's like, Ethan, you're the fucking man, baby. And it's just always in my head, a little thing that, just that little passing interaction with Jimmy. It's a little fun little backstage story. I got a few other ones, but I don't want to expose anything or put anybody out there.
Fair enough. That's cool. That's pretty funny, man. I'd probably say that Jimmy Hart too, man. I'd have to say that too, man.
Oh man, I always give so much praise to the legends I grew up watching, the roads that they paved for us. I mean, the business is completely different than it was then.
Oh yeah.
Completely different, but that does not mean by any means you can't learn from the greats.
Yeah. That's right. So, man, I do want to say, man, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day, coming on, chatting with us, man. Before I pass it on over to Kathy, man, I want to say, man, I hope you get that belt, on the 27th. Man, I hope you get the 2 belts, man. You're defending it all around Delaware, man, kicking everyone's ass. I'm going to be there cheering you on, man.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support, Rob. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Kathy?
You there, Kat?
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Hey, look, she's doing her Harpo Marx impression.
That's right.
There's a bit of delay. Kathy, you there?
Uh-oh.
Did we lose her? Anyways, we'll wait till she gets herself settled. But I gotta. So Ethan, you trained down at WXW. What was like? How was the how different was the training compared to where you started?
Well, I actually I'm let's rewind that. Let's rewind that. I actually never trained at the Wild Samoan Training Center.
Okay.
I actually never trained there. I am a huge proponent of the Wild Samoan Training Center. If you want to get trained by somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about, I mean, look no further than Alpha the Wild Samoan. I mean, come on, he's done it all. He's put so many people into WWE. His legacy, him and his brother's legacies are, I mean, it needs no speaking about. I mean, everybody knows about the Samoan Dynasty when they've contributed. But I actually I never trained there. With not training there though, I was booked for like 3 years with Alpha straight. Alpha, before I started working for WXW, I had people in the industry tell me things like, hey, watch out, going to, and I was green as baby shit, man. Like I had people telling me, if you're going to go work for the Samoans, just be careful because, they're only going to put their guys over. You're just going to be a job guy if you go up there. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Alpha took Brian and I in like his own kids. And even though we weren't truly his students, his own kids, he still treated us like we were. And we were, on every show and treated just as much like family as if we were one of the Wild Samoan Training Center students. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, because we had I know if we told you, we may have touched on this last time. We had what was her name? Rob, help me out. Vale Anawai on here.
Oh, Vala. Yeah. I love Vala. Hi, Vala, if you're watching this.
Shout out to Vale Anawai. We're gonna try to get you back on, Vale, if you ever see this. We haven't forgotten about you. But yeah, I've been a fan of that family ever since I was a little boy.
They're the greatest.
I was excited when the Head Shrinkers actually finally won the tag team titles. I thought Rikishi's the dances Rikishi used to do were like on point and whatnot. I like even what the Usos are doing right now. And I actually watched a documentary of how we posted it a long time ago. Probably find it again, but we had a documentary of how they do things at the WXW school. And I remember some guy got backstage accidentally. I don't know what he was doing backstage, but the person that ran him out was actually not one of the Samoans, but Lynn Anawai, Alpha's wife.
Yeah,
and I looked at this. I looked at this. I was like, he's walking fast. I would have been running out of that place, man. I'm like, shoot, you ain't gotta tell me twice.
So, one thing you don't want to do is piss off a Samoan.
Oh, I know.
That's one thing you don't want to do.
Samoans and Tongan.
There's one Samoan in particular you don't want to piss off at a WXW show, and that's Alpha. But if I were to go one past that and say there's one person you really, really don't want to get pissed off at you, that's Lynn. That's Lynn. I've seen moms angry, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. Yes. Samoans and Tongans. Like I'm 5'9", 250 plus pounds, and I've never seen a Samoan.
Look at that, he's bigger than
Tongan.
half the indie guys out there. That's incredible.
I've never seen a Samoan or a Tongan that's smaller than me. So I remember I was in Japan one time when I was stationed there. I saw one of these guys at a bar, and I was like, "Hey," we were like just shooting the breeze. I'm like, "Hey, where you from?" Man, he's like, "Tonga." I'm like, "Bro, I would not want to fight you unless I had to." Huge emphasis on had.
Right.
And if it was a fight I could throw, I would definitely throw it. I'm like, look, man, just take the win and go, man. I got a date tomorrow, man. I can't mess up my face with you, man. Just you win, man. Yeah. But so what was it like? Like what? So the Samoan dynasty, decades of wrestling experience. When you first wrestled for them, what was it like? What was your mindset? Were you like, did you have butterflies in your stomach? Were your nerves on edge, or were you like, you know what? I've been doing this for a couple of years. I got this.
Um, my first match for WXW. I wrestled a guy named Lou Cipher. Dude's legit 7 foot, very, very mean looking. Kind of lives his gimmick a little bit. And look, my job was just to come in there and make Lou look as much of a monster as possible. And that's what I did. I just went out there and made Lou look like a monster. My tag partner, Brian, actually, he got into WXW and wrestled for them the show before I debuted. And then I think he went to Pops and was like, Pops, not for nothing, but I'm in a tag team. Can we bring my partner in? And that's where I was. But I didn't make my debut as a tag, pummeled by Louis Cipher and choke slam straight to hell. It wasn't, I think, till the following show. I think Alpha had started. Not so every year they do the Wild Samoan Tag Team Tournament, but I think the first year WXW was running in Florida, it wasn't the Wild Samoan Tag Team Tournament. It was just a tag team tournament to crown the first WXW Tag Team Champions down there in Florida. It ended up being myself and Brian versus it was that Afro? I think it was Afro Boy and Aleki. Aleki, the Pineapple King. I don't know if you guys know Aleki over there in Hawaii with Oos Wrestling. He filled in because I was working with Tama. It was Tama Tonga and myself, Brian, and I want to say Afro Boy in the main event of the thing. Tom and I, we worked. Big Papa Tonga came out at the end of the match, and that's always terrifying. Haku came out at the end. That was cool. So yeah, the Samoan lineage and whatnot. I mean, who knew who Tama was going to be then? I mean, I kind of knew because I was in the ring with the guy. Saul. But that lineage just extends past family. Even though in WXW, everybody is family. Haku and his sons, even though they aren't Alpha's blood per se. I mean, they are definitely family. It's a little I want to say it was nervous. I was nerve wracked, but not from the legacy or anything like that. I just wanted to put on the best match possible. I just want to go out there and do the damn thing. And not stink the joint out, and just put on the best show I could. That's really what I was nervous about the most was doing that. And we did that. We went out, we wrestled, killed it in the tournament. I think we wrestled a couple times that night. By the time we left, man, we were hot. I remember coming back in the locker room and looking at Brian and we're like, about the WXW crowd, looking at Brian and be like, dude, they are so into us. Which is crazy because prior to WXW, Brian and I wrestled as heels predominantly. And Alpha saw something in us, was like, I want to try booking you guys as baby faces. And he was right, man, because the crowd took to us quick.
Yeah, wow, Tamatanga, that must have been something. And then Haku, oh wow, that guy has that. Whew. The stories I heard
great.
about Haku, man.
I was a couple years ago when Mania was in New York. I was up at the Bullet Club block party, and I see Haku out there, and people are like trying to talk to him, and I just like Haku, and he turns around and he sees me, and I just run up and I give him the biggest hug ever, and that's terrifying, like to most people, this is Haku, it's the baddest man in the industry. But to be able to walk up and give him a big old hug like a teddy bear, he's so nice. Haku's so nice. There's nothing to be scared of that man.
But I heard a lot of times, like the rumored fights that I heard of, it's people that were like some guy that was being a jackass, and I guess he had liquid courage and decided to pick a fight with Haku. And I'm like, oh geez, people under liquid courage, man. I mean, when I drink, you know, I'm giving people dabs. I'm like, yo, you the man, you the man. I want to grow up to be just like you. You know, sometimes I get a bit. Sometimes I get like social, like start saying, hey, you know, who do you, this is the best song ever, stuff like that. Not awkwardly social or inappropriately social, just like social and whatnot, you know. But man, I don't get why so. Oh, geez.
It would take a lot of liquid courage, a lot of whiskey, for me to want to pick a fight with Haku. That play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, now that from what it seems, a lot of things are like clearing up now. There's a vaccine apparently, and it looks like things are kind of clearing up and getting somewhat back to the way it was, somewhat in all caps. What are your goals in terms of pro wrestling for this year?
For this year, I mean, right now, I got to be honest, man. I'm just focused on March 27th. I try to do it one show at a time. I'm so focused on March 27th. It's been a year since DCW's ran. This is I believe one of the longest, if not the longest hiatus in the 18 years DCW has ever since DCW's been operating. So I'm just so focused on 27th and trying to make this the best show it can absolutely be with us coming back. Goals for down the road. Future DCW champion, right? Obviously, March 27th. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at. And we'll just see from there. I want to be able to put on the best no limit matches that I can. I am the current no limit champion, and I don't want to take any shine off the no limit championship. I clawed and scratched and worked really, really hard to get that championship. I don't want to take any shine off that. I love the No Limits Championship. I love what it's about. For people watching this that aren't aware of Dynamite Championship Wrestling or the No Limits Championship, this is it's kind of like it's the gimmick match title, so to speak. So every No Limits match always has a stipulation to it, whether it's a tables match or a fans bring the weapons match or ladder match or 2 out of 3. There's always a stipulation. There's always a gimmick to the No Limits title, which I think is incredible. I love it. I love that it adds another dynamic to the ability to be able to storytell.
Awesome. So what's going on with the you're also a tag team. You're also a tag team with, called the Scumpunks.
Yeah, with Drake. Scumpunk. Easy for you to say.
Yeah, you had a tag team with Drake Carter as the Scumpunks. Any goals for that tag team as well, or?
Yeah, I would love the Scumpunks to get out there and keep doing what we do. Drake and I are like this, man. We've been through thick and thin. That dude's got my back. I got his back 100%. I would love to see us work some other places and get out there and show the fans what we can do. Maybe even get Sean Cannon. So Drake has an interesting tag team dichotomy. He's in a tag team with me. We're called the Scumpunks. Then he's also in another tag team with Sean Cannon, and they are the Punk Rock All Stars. Will we ever see a merging of the three? And I'm not sure. I don't know. That's hey, there's 3 parties involved.
Here's my question, and sometimes I like to get a bit mischievous with this. I always wonder, like, for example, you had let's see, modern day, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and for a brief period there was Alex Shelley and Kushida, who were known as the Time Splitters. And right. I always wondered, like, how would it be if it was Chris Sabin and Kushida? How would that dynamic work? Would they be cool with each other? Lo and behold, they were in the World Tag Team Cup or League or whatever it was in New Japan, like I think a couple of years ago, and they were fine. They actually, I think they got to like the semifinals, and apparently their dynamic was pretty good. So that'd be interesting to see you and Sean Cannon actually like in a tag team, or just see you guys as a stable. I mean, and don't quote me on this, but apparently rumor has it that AEW's planning on bringing in some trios titles. So, or hey, there's Ring of Honor. You could always go to Ring of Honor and see how that will work.
Yeah, I mean, I will go wherever they have me.
Yeah, and plus, you guys will be the first ever I mean, Rob, Kathy, y'all actually correct me if I'm wrong, the first ever Punk stable. Not Punk tag team, because there's Reno Scum, but Punk stable. So that'd be interesting thing y'all got going on there.
Well, I think didn't Reno Scum didn't they start out as a stable? Didn't they have like Christina Von Eerie and stuff with them? I think they did. I don't know if it was before they debuted on Impact, but I believe that Reno Scum always was kind of more of a stable than a tag team. Now, when they got into Impact, I believe they were kind of featured more as a tag team. But when they got their start, they were running as a stable.
Christina Von Eerie, I haven't heard that name in a while, man. She's a pretty good wrestler too. But
yeah, incredible mohawk as well. From one mohawk to the other.
Yeah.
Let's run down the top mohawks in wrestling. Let's see. You got Shannon Moore, who I think he's probably the best mohawk in my opinion. His mohawk is dope. Christina Von Eerie, she has dope mohawk. Did Lance Archer calls himself Murder Hawk, but has he ever like actually put his hawk up? Has anybody ever seen it up?
Not really.
No. So it's just a tagline. You got me, Ethan Essex. I have a pretty cool mohawk. Who else you got? You got Animal. He had the dual mohawks, right? Or Animal had the John, and then Hawk had the dual mohawks.
Yeah.
Who else? Come on, Rob, help me. Who else had mohawks, man?
Did Vader have one?
Did Vader have one?
That where he shaved it in like his mask or whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah, the two little spots up there too.
Lesser the Legend, the big guy in Reno Scum, he had a nice one too. He had a mohawk, and he had like some spots at the side too.
Yeah, I do that. I've done that time to time. I've done cheetah spots on the sides and stuff when I change up colors. I think the guy's name's Luster the Legend. Is that his name? Luster?
Yeah, Luster the Legend.
Yeah. I've been since our last interview, I've had several people contact me and be like, "This dude stole your gimmick," and like send me pictures of Luster the Legend, who I gotta say he looks like he could be my big brother. Oh man, I'm knocking belts down. He looks like he could be my big brother. So in wrestling, you always want to try to be unique, right? You want to try to do something different than the next guy. So that's why I said I'm kind of as much as I love the mohawk and the fans have come to know me for it. I got to change it up, man. There's other people that have similar looks and are doing similar things like Reno Scum. And look, it's in this industry, it's a race to get to television as a professional wrestler. You know, that's you get there and you know you're going to be in a comfortable spot as far as pay goes. You might be able to, you know, pay your bills from doing the thing that you love. So it's a race to get to television, and kind of like an unsaid rule, like it didn't happen unless it's on TV in wrestling, right? So if a guy has in my opinion, if two guys have similar gimmicks and one guy makes it to television before the other guy does, that gimmick's pretty much his. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, he made it to TV first. So I don't want people to come at me and be like, oh, you guys are like a Reno Scum knockoff or something like that. When I've been doing the Scum thing for a while, they were doing the Scum thing for a while. I had a mohawk, they have mohawks. So it's just, I'm gonna tweak the Essex character a little bit and change it up and try to do something new.
And who knows? Maybe we'll see you on AEW real soon. I mean, speaking of which, what are your thoughts? Because when you started out, pretty much WWE was the end all be all. It was like once you got WWE, that was pretty much everybody's goal. But now you have AEW here that's putting a lot of shine on independent wrestlers. We've had a few on here that have actually debuted on AEW Dark. You got Impact Wrestling and so on. So what are your thoughts on how the landscape has been in terms of more opportunities for independent wrestlers like yourself, Drake Carter, et cetera, in terms of like opportunities?
I mean, this is the best time probably I could think since like the Attitude Era, since the late 90s, early 2000s of wrestling. This is probably the hottest time it's ever been. They say the business is cyclical. It goes up and down, up and down. Business has been cyclical, and I think now on this uprise, on this current trend, you're seeing other companies working together, which is incredible, right? Like we haven't really ever seen that. I mean, we've seen that, but we haven't seen it so much in the forefront as like AEW, Impact, and New Japan are doing, working together. That's incredible. I remember when AEW first, I think before they even ran their first show, they had put out a statement like, we're going to be working with other companies. We're willing to work with other companies, even WWE. We're willing to to work with them. And now I didn't know if it would be who of WWE to turn around and work with AEW. I don't know what that would do for them. At the end of the day, this is a business. I don't know what AEW could do to help WWE. But in the other way around, though, when AEW's first coming out, absolutely. Why wouldn't they want to try to get that rub off of them? But will we see those two companies work together? Never. I'll put money on that. We'll never see those guys work together. But people have said the same thing about, other companies in the past. And WWE did, they did things with ECW and stuff back when we were kids watching all this. So as far as opportunities right now, it's incredible. It's a hotbed. There's so many places you can work. There's so many places you can perfect your craft, hone your craft, get better. In this industry, you should always be trying to seek opportunities. One should always seek opportunities. B, you want to be mixing it up with guys that are better than you. That's how you get better. Steel sharpens steel. If you're working these little indies here and there all the time and you're not really getting in the ring with guys that are better than you, how can you ever grow as a performer? So with that being said, you have all these platforms now where companies can get their product out, from NWA, they had their YouTube series, Power, to MLW, several other, just there's so many platforms and ways for companies to get their product out, which means there's that many more eyes on you and opportunities for you to get better and for the world to see who you are and what you're about. So I think right now is like the hottest time to be an independent wrestler. Traditionally in the past, independent wrestlers never really got much love, at least on the WWE side of things. It was always, jacked up guys, second gen guys. They would always get the first and second looks. And then, your indie darlings would get, them third looks and those nods. And now, I mean, look at the WWE roster now. Look at what it is. It's the whole 2001 Ring of Honor crew and on. It's all those indie guys that have came in and pretty much with a mix of second gen guys like Roman and stuff, but it's those indie guys that really put the industry on their back and are currently carrying this industry, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm very like happy for all those that get these opportunities. Like we've had there was one guy, Danny Limelight. He was actually wrestling on New Japan Strong, and we actually had him on the show. And then lo and behold, like a week or two later, I see him on AEW Dark, and I'm like, what? I'm like, Rob, like, check YouTube. Are you on YouTube right now? He's like, no. I'm like, dude, check YouTube. He's like, oh, snap. And now I'm like, go to AEW Dark. He's like, and then he's like, oh, snap. It's Danny Limelight. I'm like, yeah, bro, we just had him on the show. You know, we've had people like I mean, you probably came across this guy before, Mr. Grimm. We had him on our show.
I'm familiar with Mr. Grimm. I've never actually worked with the guy. We haven't crossed paths, but we are in the same area of the country, and we do you know, mix it up with a lot of the same guys. But Grimm and I have never had the opportunity to cross paths.
Yeah, and we've had like people like Red Velvet. We were fortunate to get Thunder Rosa, another hardworking woman who's just breaking like records. And it's just great to see that people that have actually given us a chance to interview them actually go on and have their careers flourish and get recognized. I was surprised when we had another two young women, AQA and Cameron Bernay. They're on our show. They just got signed to WB, and I was like, wow. And I mean, when I started this whole podcast gig, I was like, I told Rob and Kathy, I'm like, you know, we interview anybody. It doesn't matter ethnicity, doesn't matter nationality. I mean, granted, yeah, you know, if they can't speak English, we'll try our best to find somebody to interpret. But you know, we interview anybody. We don't care if you made it to WB or not, or you know, the fact that you go into that ring, we want to hear from you. And it's just surprising, like just see that, you know, one minute we're interviewing somebody, next minute, yeah, they just got signed to WB or they got signed to AEW. So
yeah,
you know,
it's cool. It's cool, man, to watch people's journeys and watch them grow and blossom. And I dare you to become inspired by it. Anytime somebody I know goes on to do bigger or better things or gets a bigger or better opportunity, man, I'm their biggest cheerleader. I'm sitting at home like so happy for them, so happy for their success. One of my best friends in the business, Sean Maluda, he's been
I know him.
yeah, Maluda, you know, he's been on AEW several times now, and every time I say, I'm like, yes, that's my homie. Like, I want success for everybody. There's more than enough to go around. Um, I cheer and I'm so happy for all these guys that get their opportunities and watching guys start like Tama, for instance. I watched him come into the industry so green. Worked with him while he was really green. I mean, I was pretty green myself as well, but worked with him, and then you know he left WXW to go to Japan and perfect his craft and get better over there, and then to see where he was when we worked together and then where he's at now, it's awesome, dude. I love watching success stories. It's so inspiring, especially in with the way the world is right now. It can be a little hard to find inspiration in places. So I applaud anybody that's getting the opportunities and going on and putting in the work and just really manifesting their reality.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it too. Kathy, are you there?
Oh man.
Hold on. Kathy, are you there? Kathy, can you hear us? For those of you watching who may have some technical difficulties, hopefully, Kathy, hello? Must be some technical. But Ethan, I gotta say, you know, it's you know, I wish you all the best. Hopefully, we get to see you on AEW or WWE.
That'd be great.
I'll probably be screaming at the top of my lungs, and I'll be like, Rob, dude, turn on the TV. You're
giving me goosebumps right now, man.
You know, and who knows? Maybe we'll see you on Ring of Honor. Maybe we'll see you on Impact. Heck, maybe we'll see you on New Japan Strong. I mean, they got a thing going on now too. So, you know, sky's the limit. You know, there's a lot out there. And yeah, I'll be excited when I see you when I see you on. If it's you alone, definitely. If it's you and Drake, yeah. By the way, we're trying to get Drake Carter on here real soon. You know, last time we told us he couldn't do it at the time, but we'd definitely like to have him on here eventually.
Cool, man. Yeah, Drake's great. He'll be a great interview. He's man. I'm talking about guys learning from and things that have guys that have had opportunities and stuff. Drake's done some things, man. He's been some places. He's learned. He's worked with some names. He's got a great mind for psychology. You know, when we're in the back, talking about what we're doing, going to go do out there, as a tag team. You know, I'll come up with some ideas. Sometimes he'll come up with ideas. But Drake isn't afraid. He's not afraid to say no, which is really important in this industry. I don't think if there's one piece of advice I could offer to green guys, don't be scared to say no, man. Like as far as making sense of things, like if somebody presents you with a spot or something that's going to go on in the match and it doesn't make sense, don't be no, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do something like that? Like it doesn't. There's a rhyme and a reason to why we do things in that ring, and Drake is very tuned in to that rhyme and reason.
Yeah, awesome. So I gotta say, you know, it's really and truly on behalf of myself, Kathy, and Rob. I just gotta say, you know, it's been a real pleasure having you back on here on the show. Before we let you go, we just gotta say, we just gotta ask, where can we find you on social media if fans want to find out about your next appearances, if they want to purchase Ethan Essex or Scumpunk merchandise? Where you at on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, Ethan Essex. Look for this charming mug. You can find me on Instagram. It's honk_4 FOR. Honk for Essex _ honk_4 Essex on Instagram. Twitter, haven't gotten on the Twitter yet. Still haven't jumped on the Twitter bandwagon, but you can definitely find me on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. All right, well, it's about that time for us to bid y'all adieu. Those you watching.
Real quick, can I do one more? Real quick, I'll do one more plug for DCW.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm just going to interrupt real quick. March 27th, 6 p.m. doors open in Marydale, Delaware. You have Dynamite Championship Wrestling presents the Rumble for Glory. It's pretty much like a Royal Rumble style match. It's going to be setting us up for our big annual WrestleMania type show, Guts and Glory, on June 5th. This is kind of the ramp up. This is the road to Guts and Glory, and it all starts on March 27th.
Awesome. So for those of y'all in the Delaware area, well, as Rob calls the Delmarva area, which is Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, DC, make sure you check these guys out. They're definitely doing big things in your area. I always say this: support indie wrestling. That's where 95% of your indie wrestlers come from. So go out there. They're doing this show for y'all. Support. Go there. Enjoy yourself. Take pictures. Buy 8x10s. Buy merch. Cheer for your favorites. Boo the ones you don't like, but do it respectfully. I know some of y'all get crazy. And just have a good old time. Wrestling's back in y'all area, so just show your appreciation. So with that being said, we just want to thank everybody that listened to us tonight live. We really and truly appreciate it. To those of you that are going to listen to us later on by our YouTube channel or our Facebook group, thank you in advance. And to those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd sign off and go away. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but like a Snickers commercial in the 90s, we're not going away for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let. Wait, what am I doing? Oh, snap. See, that's what happens when you sleep before an interview. Rob, where you at on Christmas, man?
You can find me on Facebook or you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Rob_base82, and Facebook, Rob Base.
Awesome. Kathy, you there?
Oh.
I'll tell you what, man,
Well,
if you want to do some like bonus content or something, once we get Kathy up and running, I'll still answer and field her questions, and maybe you can post them on your site at a later time or something.
yeah, we can do that. So, to those who actually want, if you want to talk to me on Twitter, for the not that I have anything interesting to say, you can definitely find me on Twitter at the Remy Blue. Our podcast is also on Twitter at Ringside Society. Our podcast is also on Instagram at Ringside Society. We have new merch. Yes, St. Patrick's Day inspired merch. So make sure you check out our Teespring store. We have a lot of cool stuff there. We got a lot more cool stuff coming on, more cool designs. My mind is running wild like Hulkamania in the 80s, so we got a lot of cool shirts coming through this year. And also, once again, thank you all for listening. With that being said, we here at Ringside Society are very well aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for DCW and their awesome show that's going to be on March 27th. Tell the people, what type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, and we will be back on Thursday and Sunday. Major key, as DJ Khaled would say, we have a WWE Women's Legend that will be on our show on Sunday. Make sure you tune in. As a matter of fact, it's going to be here on YouTube. You're not going to want to miss it. She's going to have a lot to say. With that being said, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.